Welcome to Retro Lens Vault, where forgotten moments of the 1700s to early 1900s come back to life. Donna Summer performs at Roseland Ballroom in 1976, at the height of her reign as the Queen of Disco. Goldie Hawn became a breakout star on Laugh-In in 1968. Her playful energy and humor making her an instant favorite. Circa 1980, Sylvester Stallone, star of the Rocky and Rambo films. A moment from Woodstock, 1969, Janis Joplin, the soul of rock and blues, pours herself a drink between performances. A young Jack Nicholson in the 1960s, just before his breakout in Easy Rider and his record-setting Oscar career. Aretha Franklin appears with the Blues Brothers in 1980, delivering Think in the hit film. Cindy Crawford in the 1990s, a defining supermodel known for her signature beauty mark and pop culture impact. Paul and Linda McCartney performed at a press showcase at London's Playhouse Theatre on July 27, 1989. Tony Bennett in 1968, already famed for I Left My Heart in San Francisco and his early Grammy successes. Charles Durning, Shania Twain, and Sean Penn meet in 1993, each on paths to major acclaim in film and music. David Bowie, Brian May, Roger Taylor, and Princess Diana gather at Wembley during 1985's iconic Live Aid event. Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski appear at the 1968 Cannes Film Festival, during her rise to stardom and his Rosemary's Baby success. Christopher Walken and Grace Jones in 1985, shortly after starring in the Bond film A View to a Kill. Sarah, Duchess of York, and Prince Andrew kissed on Buckingham Palace's balcony after their wedding on July 23, 1986. Mariah Carey and Patrick Swayze appear on Saturday Night Live in 1990, early in Carey's breakthrough. Bob Dylan on the 1975 Rolling Thunder Revue Tour, blending music and poetry with a traveling troupe. Jessica Walter in 1966, early in her career before Emmy-winning and iconic TV roles. Karl Lagerfeld revitalized Chanel as chief designer in 1983, completing a key 1984 haute couture collection. Barbara Hershey and David Carradine in the 1970s, together before both went on to major film and TV acclaim. Princess Elizabeth in 1944 with her first corgi, Susan, the beginning of a royal lineage long before she became queen. Apollonia Kotero in 1985, singer, actress, and model best known for starring alongside Prince in Purple Rain. Glynis Johns in 1948, well before her famed Mary Poppins role, and later award-winning stage and film work. Bernie Sanders and his brother Larry in the 1940s Brooklyn, long before their later political and academic careers. Lou Reed, Mick Jagger, and David Bowie in 1973, iconic figures shaping glam rock and rock music at its peak. Sharon Stone poses playfully in a 1983 photo shoot, years before her breakout in Basic Instinct. Jason and Justine Bateman attend the 1987 Emmys, both rising TV stars early in their award-winning careers. Angelica Houston in 1984, on the verge of her Oscar-winning breakthrough in Prizzi's honor. Kim Basinger and Prince in 1989, the year she starred in Batman, and he created its hit soundtrack. Nancy Allen on the 1981 Blowout set, already known for standout roles in Carrie and RoboCop. Larry Gaines with his family in the 1930s, a top Canadian heavyweight barred from a world title by racial discrimination. Bobby Brown performs with New Edition in Berkeley, California. Young Justin Timberlake and Ryan Gosling in the early 90s as Mouseketeers, before their music and film fame. ABBA celebrates their 1974 Eurovision-winning hit Waterloo at London's Waterloo Station. Nancy Sinatra in the 1960s, iconic for her hit These Boots Are Made for Walkin', and chart-topping duet with Frank Sinatra. French singer and songwriter Gilbert Bécaud, 1927-2001, performs at the Olympia Theatre, Paris, 3rd October 1980. William Hanna and Joseph Barbera in 1990, the creative duo behind Tom and Jerry and founders of Hanna-Barbera. Marielle Hemingway co-hosted a 1988 Olympic honorary event in Beverly Hills with Kentucky Fried Chicken. Justine Bateman in 1990, famed for Family Ties, and later a writer, director, and author. Margot Werner celebrated her 10th wedding anniversary on a cruise from Vancouver to Anchorage in June 1988. Elizabeth Montgomery in 1960, before rising to fame as Samantha Stevens on Bewitched. Kim Basinger in the 1980s, actress and former model known for her roles in 9½ Weeks and Batman, 1989. On July 29th, designer Jack Ritchie began creating Princess Diana's wedding gown using early sketches and media references. Jane Birkin and Serge Gainsbourg in 1969, a couple famed for their provocative musical duet. Supermodel Christy Brinkley asks Aretha Franklin for an autograph on a Polaroid picture backstage during the Merv Griffin Show. Rosario Nadal and her father attended her wedding to Prince Kirill of Bulgaria on September 15, 1989, in Palma de Mallorca. Portuguese soccer legend Eusebio was seen at Sport Club Portugues in Newark, New Jersey, on February 21, 1987. Debbie Harry and Ronnie Spector in 1978, icons from different eras meeting during Blondie's rise. Al Pacino spoke with Grace Kelly at the Theater Hall of Fame Awards in New York on March 28, 1982. Singer Madonna dances at a rap party at the Palladium, New York City. Ronnie Spector in 1974, lead singer of the Ronettes, and a defining voice of 1960s pop. Lifeguards at a public pool in the mid-1960s, reflecting the era's rise of community swimming spots. Goldie Hawn sits in bed with 4 dogs in a scene from the film Seems Like Old Times, 1980. World Expo 1970 in Osaka, Japan, highlighted futuristic design, technology, and global culture for millions of visitors. Meryl Streep delivered an acceptance speech at the 52nd Academy Awards in Los Angeles on April 14, 1980. Michael Caine walks with his mother in the 1960s London, years before becoming a celebrated British actor. Caterer Martha Stewart and husband, publisher Andy Stewart, outside their home, 24th March, 1980. Robert Redford and Paul Newman relax on the 1969 Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid set, forming a legendary film duo. Mick Jagger, Ron Wood, and Keith Richards, left to right, performed during a Rolling Stones concert. 3 young women walk Hermosa Beach in 1975, embodying the era's surf culture and spirit of freedom. Paris, France, circa 1985. A general view of atmosphere during a party at Le Palace Club on 1985 in Paris, France. Pamela Gidley, Robert Rusler, and Sherilyn Fenn star in Thrashin', 1986, showcasing California's skateboard culture. 1981, picture shows singer-actress Dolly Parton, seated and performing outside to a crowd. Helen Mirren poses beside a vintage car in 1975, early in her career before her Oscar-winning acclaim. Alabama-born Motown star Lionel Richie turned group beginnings into global solo success and timeless hits. Susan Kare in the 1980s, designing iconic fonts and icons for Apple's early computers. Molly Ringwald, Judd Nelson, and Emilio Estevez, on set of the film The Breakfast Club, 1984. Anita Pallenberg and Mick Jagger on the 1970 performance set, embodying London's counterculture energy. Nicole Kidman attended a private photo session in Sydney after the release of BMX Bandit on December 1st. Ronnie Wood and Mick Jagger performed together in 1976, marking Wood's debut tour as the Rolling Stones guitarist. Michael J. Fox walking across the street in a scene from the film Back to the Future, 1985. Eugene Levy, John Candy, and co-stars in Armed and Dangerous, 1986, a comedy about 2 bumbling security guards. Dolly Parton on the set of The Oprah Winfrey Show in Chicago, Illinois, February 2, 1987. Jamie Gertz stars in The Lost Boys, 1987, a defining role in the cult vampire film. Cyndi Lauper, posing her MTV Music Award. A young Alicia Silverstone dances with her grandfather at her 1989 bat mitzvah. Serge Gainsbourg and Bamboo attended a party at Le Palace Club in Paris around 1987. Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder on the 1978 Superman set, shaping the modern superhero genre. Paris, France, circa 1985. Nina Hagen attends a party at Le Palace Club on 1985 in Paris, France. Sean Young stars as Chani in David Lynch's Dune, 1984, following her breakout in Blade Runner. Whitesnake posed on the red carpet at the 1987 MTV Music Awards in Universal City, California. Patrick Swayze and Lisa Niemi at the 1989 Oscars, during his peak fame between Dirty Dancing and Ghost. 4 contestants in the Madonna Lookalike contest conducted at the launch party for a new series of The Tube, London, 1985. Mary Tyler Moore in 1960, before rising to TV fame on The Dick Van Dyke Show and later The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Kevin Bacon, River Phoenix, and Martha Plimpton attend PETA's 1989 Rock Against Fur concert. Jane Fonda and Anthony Perkins on the set of Tall Story during Fonda's 1960 film debut. John Lennon and Keith Richards performed together at the 1968 Rock and Roll Circus. David Bowie with designer Ola Hudson in 1976 during his Thin White Duke era. Jim Morrison photographed in 1966 before the Doors' debut album. Carrie Fisher talks with Princess Margaret at the Empire Strikes Back premiere in 1980. Bob Dylan and Joan Baez in the 1960s, shaping the era's protest movement. Jessica Biel and Scarlett Johansson in the 1990s, early in their careers. Joan Jett and Debbie Harry, iconic figures in rock and punk music. David Lynch with his wife and daughter in 1968, before Eraserhead and Twin Peaks. A 1980s Marlboro racing jacket with stone-washed jeans epitomizes branded rebellious style. Jennifer Connelly as Jenny Blake in The Rocketeer, 1991, following her breakout in Labyrinth. Carol Kane in 1982, celebrated for her comic and dramatic roles. Andre Braugher performs at Juilliard in the 1980s, showcasing his stage training. Madonna arrives at the Desperately Seeking Susan premiere in 1985. Jack Nicholson and Dennis Hopper at the 1970 Oscars, with Hopper's wife Michelle Phillips. Julie Andrews rises to fame in the 1950s with Broadway and TV successes. Jackie Kennedy takes a mirror photo with John F. Kennedy and Ethel Kennedy in 1954. A young Michelle Pfeiffer poses with her 1965 Mustang before her Hollywood fame. Henry Cyril Paget, the Dancing Marquis, stages lavish performances in 1900. Nancy Sinatra in 1966, the year her hit "These Boots Are Made for Walkin'" topped charts. Charles Schulz with a Beagle in the 1950s, inspiring the Peanuts Snoopy. A 17-year-old Julie Andrews performs on stage in 1952, before Mary Poppins. Julie Andrews winks between takes in 1964, debuting as Mary Poppins. Sandra Bullock in 1993, early in her rise before her breakout in Speed. Timothy Olyphant, around 1985, years before his Emmy-nominated acting career. Elton John, at his first photo shoot in 1968, before his debut single and partnership with Bernie Taupin. A young Christopher Walken stretches dough in his father's bakery in 1950s. Allen Ginsberg and Jack Kerouac in the 1950s, key figures of the Beat movement. Robin Williams at age 7 in 1958, long before his acting fame. A student actor performs at Boston University in 1979. Patrick Stewart reads a Star Trek TNG script in 1990. Jennifer Connelly and David Bowie on the set of Labyrinth 1986. Harpo Marx meets Amelia Earhart in 1932. Both icons in entertainment and aviation. Henry Fonda shares a meal with daughter Jane in the 1960s, both future Oscar winners. Sharon Stone in 1983, early in her career before Basic Instinct and major film success. A glamorous, hard-partying group of young actors in the 1980s became known as the Brat Pack, after a New York writer coined the term. Phoebe Cates quickly became a major teen sex symbol after bold early roles and her iconic Fast Times red bikini scene. Jamie Gertz rose as an 80s teen star with The Lost Boys and Less Than Zero, later returning to major success with 1996's Twister. Ralph Macchio rose from early TV roles to teen idol status after The Karate Kid made him a global breakout star. Mia Sara became an 80s Gen X favorite after starring in Legend and winning hearts as Sloane in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Jennifer Grey moved from early supporting roles to stardom with her breakout performance as Baby in Dirty Dancing. Henry Thomas became famous after earning the lead role in E.T. with an emotional audition at just 9 years old. Paris, France, circa 1985. L.R. Two guests, Ariel Wiseman and Emma, during a party at Le Palace Club on 1985 in Paris, France. Lisa Bonet rose to fame as Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show, and later starred in the spin-off A Different World. Justine Bateman became an 80s teen star thanks to her role as Mallory Keaton on the hit sitcom Family Ties. Kelly McGillis became an 80s star with Witness and solidified her fame as Charlie in Top Gun. Christopher Lloyd, a versatile actor known for eccentric roles, began acting at 14 and debuted on Broadway in 1969. Journalist and magazine editor Tina Brown at the Tatler offices, London, Britain, 1983. English actor Ian McKellen, training inside a flat, UK, 21st December, 1984. Lady Diana Spencer, outside her flat in Coleherne Court, London, before her engagement to the Prince of Wales, December 1980. Los Angeles, circa 1980. Singer Debbie Harry of the new wave pop band Blondie performs on stage in circa 1980 in Los Angeles, California. Princess Stephanie of Monaco, R, and Alex de la Comble present their line of bathing suits. Karl Lagerfeld fits one of his designs on top model Inès de la Fressange at Chloe's Paris studio. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates Lonnie Anderson and Burt Reynolds attended the City Heat Hollywood premiere on December 5, 1984. David Bowie shared a backstage drink with Paul Simonon of The Clash after a 1982 Shea Stadium concert. Diana Ross waves to fans as she arrives for her performance at Radio City Music Hall with her daughters, Trussie, Rhonda, and Chudney. Spanish singer Julio Iglesias poses for a portrait during a New Year's Eve party in New York, December 31, 1985. Helen Mirren had her breakout role at 22 as Cora in the 1969 film Age of Consent.